Welcome back to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holten. Today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Pam Gardner. Okay, so Pam, I have met her. I met her in 2023, and then she's a returning client for 2024. Okay, so the first time I met Pam, she came to a clinic that we hosted here with a clinician that's out of Kentucky. His name is Lee Hart. Okay, so she came to his clinic in 2023 with some of her friends. Now, Pam is from Iowa, and now she returned in 2024. This year, she audited Lee's clinic, which is something that he is amazing for because he'll allow you to come and watch, and she took a bunch of videos for us. But before Lee's clinic, which was a 3-day event, she came to our event called Chicks in the Sticks. Now, Chicks in the Sticks is an all-inclusive women's-only event that is for trail riders. We have massages, your camping's included, the food's included. You get a free shirt. We do some kind of crafting activity, and we just have a lot of fun. We have a lot of cheesecake. All right, so yes. Pam, tell us about what was your favorite thing about Chicks in the Sticks?
All of the above. There was nothing negative about it.
Right.
It was all fun.
Okay.
From the time you got up to the time you went to bed, and it's just a lot of fun.
Okay. So tell us, where are you at in Iowa?
North of Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Okay. And now then, you have been on this quest for your horsemanship for quite some time, right? Right now, your horse's name is Rip Roarin' Son of a Gun.
Yep.
Boy, that right there describes a lot of horses, right? Rip Roarin'.
Yep.
So, in Chicks in the Sticks, whenever you were here for that, I had people introduce themselves, or sometimes I'll play a game where I guess what your profession was. We do all sorts of like team building stuff, just getting to know each other. Well, Pam has a pair of glasses on, and she has blacked out one of the eyes, and then she has 2 golden horseshoes on the outside of these glasses. So I asked Pam, what happened to your eye? Because, a lot of times people won't ask these questions, but I knew she'd be okay with me asking because she's decorated her glasses with these golden horseshoes. So I went for it, and I asked her, what happened to that eye, Pam? Because, everybody wanted to ask, but they didn't know her, so they didn't know if they could ask. So, Pam, let's tell them what happened to the eye.
It was my neighbor's horse, not mine, my neighbor's horse. And he was over to our place, and I was going to put him in the barn, and I was just going to yield his hindquarters one more time, just one more time. And this horse is used to be in charge. If he pins his ear, you can have his way, and if he gives you that look, you move. Well, I didn't do it, and he reprimanded me, and he blasted me with both feet and got me right below the eyebrow. And they didn't think I was going to live. And they ended up having to life flight me to Omaha.
So what year did this happen in?
07.
07. Because you are a 1953 model. I'm a 1979 model. So this happened not too long ago. So what do you remember about the experience?
Well, they experienced, they cut off my bra.
Okay. Oh, no.
My Victoria's Secret bra, they cut it off. I don't want to ask if you... I was upset over that.
I had to, one time I got T-boned by a car, and they had to cut me out of the car, and they had to cut my shirt off. And the whole time, here I am, I'm pretty messed up, and I'm over here like I remember trying to suck my stomach in. Like it even mattered at the time, right? My head had just knocked out the side window, and I'm trying to suck my stomach in because they cut my shirt off. I can't, that's just us being women, because we're still insecure of our bodies even when we're going through a horrible time. So they cut your bra off.
Yes. But and I don't remember from the time I got kicked. The first couple of days, I don't remember anything. But I do know my daughter was there, and she wouldn't let the students come in and check on me like they're supposed to in the hospital. And she says, "You've looked at my mom enough. Get out."
Okay.
And so she was very protective of me.
Okay.
But while I was out, I do believe I crossed over. And this is my story, and I do believe I crossed over, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was breathtaking. Vivid colors like you couldn't imagine, and peace. You take your most peaceful moment at this time and multiply it 100 times, and you won't come close.
And you won't come close.
No. And my horse and my dog were waiting for me.
What's your horse and your dog's name?
Chance.
Chance is the dog?
No, Chance was my horse. He is
Okay.
3/4 Polish Arab and quarter paint.
Okay.
So he was a spotted Arab.
Okay.
And Taffy was my little lassie dog. She looked like a little lassie. And they were waiting for me. And wait a minute.
You know, I've got a dog named Katie that I'm hoping that she's waiting on me.
She'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be there. But I couldn't touch him. I couldn't touch him. You know, I wanted to, but I couldn't. You know, God spoke through my horse to me. You know, and it wasn't no words. It was just, you just knew what he was saying.
Like an understanding.
Yeah, you know, you can't touch. And he says, and I says, I want to stay. And he says, no, you can't stay. And you know, and I really wanted to stay. And he said, no, you have to go back. He says, you have to learn something. You have to teach something. And you have to finish your horses. And that's kind of how it ended there.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the story, Paul Harvey here.
And that's the rest of the story. But so what is the rest of the story?
Chance, the horse is waiting for me, was born the 28th of May. I got kicked on the 28th of May a few years later. Rip Roarin was born on the 28th of May. God took a good horse and he gave me back a good horse. And I lost my eye so I could see.
You lost your eye so you could see. Ooh, those are powerful words. I mean, it gives me chill bumps down my neck. You know,
I see life different.
You know, I understand what you're saying with that. I had a 3-inch blood clot form in my leg whenever I had a tumor removed from my breast. But during the surgery, my blood had slowed too much because of, being under, that I formed a 3-inch blood clot. And then they didn't find that for a month. I went back to the doctor like 3 days after the surgery, right? And I was just like, hey, my leg hurts. And they were like, oh, you're young. And they just squeezed the leg. They didn't like ultrasound it or anything to take me seriously. Well, that 3-inch blood clot grew. Okay. Then I went to the hospital because of the pain. Well, then they were like, they scanned it and they're like, oh my God, you got a big old blood clot. So they gave me some blood thinner and I laid there and took a nap. And whenever I woke up, I was like, I don't feel good. That thing had broken off and went through my heart and got wedged in my lung. And you know what? Like whenever you go through these traumatic events, like every doctor in the world, you know how you said your daughter was like, y'all are done seeing my mom, right?
Right.
All those doctors, the interns, not the interns, but the ones that were there for student learning,
right?
Because they need to have some miles put on them before they're in charge of us, right? But they wanted to come and shake my hand because they couldn't believe that I had survived that. That stuff, going through these horrible traumatic events, it makes you worry a little bit more easy with stuff. You know what I mean? Like here you have your glasses to cover up the eye, and then but you got the two horseshoes on there because that's what caused that was two horseshoes, you know. And it just makes all the, like, I get bullied on social media, but it means nothing to me. It means nothing to me because I know that it's that I'm on like a bonus round. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people don't understand that until they have been right there knocking on death's door. Well, it sounds like you went through death's door and you got kicked back out for a second.
Yeah. And when I got out of the hospital, I had the mentality of a 5-year-old.
How long did that last?
It's still lasting. What are you talking about?
Oh, now you're sharp. I can't tell that you had any issues like that, you know?
Yeah, and I've had to learn how to walk 3 times.
Because of that one injury or other injuries?
As a baby, I learned how to walk.
Right.
When I was 4, I had encephalitis. I had to learn how to walk. And then when I got kicked, I had to learn how to walk.
Did you have to learn how to swallow and speak again?
No.
Or what else did you have to?
No, I had that.
Okay. You had basic functions, but like mentally?
Mentally, yeah. I had the mentality of a 5-year-old.
So did you know people's names?
I knew who they were, but I couldn't remember who they were. You know, I recognized them. You know, like my granddaughters, I didn't remember their names. My daughter, I knew her, but I didn't know who she was.
You know, so you'd be like, okay, I'm with them, but you just couldn't. It's like you were going through the Rolodex of your head of like trying to find exactly who that person is. You know, whenever we have so many businesses going on and like the stress of building these businesses in the past, you know, whenever we built Von Holten Ranch, we bought like this dead family farm of my husband's family. Like it's yesteryears was really where it flourished, you know, and then from 1979 to 2013, no one lived here and all the buildings went to ruins. And then we bought this family farm and we quit our 2 best paying jobs. We sold the land that we lived on and we bought the dead family farm, and our place sold too fast. So we were homeless, you know? And so the stress of now we've been open for 10 years and we won Missouri's Best Ranch this year. And boy, but that came with some sacrifices, like of my mind, of my body. You know, it took there's blood, sweat, and tears on normal day. But I find myself, you know, I'm not even 45 yet. I'll turn 45 this year.
You're a baby.
But you know what? With the amount of stress, sometimes. Like I had to type something in a while ago and it asked for my phone number. I put the area code in from my childhood and I'm like, what the heck is that? That's some old age knocking on my door right there. I'm like, I asked my husband, I was like, how long has it been, do you think, since I had a 501 area code? I put 501. That's Arkansas. I moved from Arkansas half my life ago, and I did that this morning, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to, whenever I start mentally slipping, I don't want to go back to my childhood. No.
Well, if you think the teens were bad the first time, try going through them the second time.
Oh no, I was a dork. I want to come back to a time when I was cool, but no, anyways, that's what whenever I think about, whenever you said that you had the mentality of a 5-year-old, man, I could see that happening because you've got all these memories. We've got all these memories locked in our head, you know, and then if something happens, I feel like you could break those chains of those current memories. And like whenever you know somebody's important and you love them and you want to be around them, but you just can't place who they are. I have guests like that. Like I meet so many people. And then I'm like, man, I remember being so connected with this person. and then they know everything about me because I share it on social media, but then I can't put the name in it. So I try to have the conversation without knowing their name. You know what I mean? So because I don't want to hurt their feelings because I know that I care about them.
Call them sweetheart.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. This seems, maybe I could be like, hey, hun. I don't know. I could do that. But hey, sweetheart, I don't know. You might be able to get away with that. You're in your 70s. I'm in my 40s. It makes me a weirdo. It makes you sweet. So there's just some age differences there. Okay. Well, at 70, actually, you can say whatever you want to say, and usually
I do.
And people, they can't get on to you. You know what I mean? You get like a get out of jail for free card with what the heck comes out of your mouth. They'll still light me up.
Hey, I can always, too many head injuries.
Oh yeah, you can be like, oh, sorry. Well, and nobody's going to like jump your butt anyways because they're going to feel awkward about the eye. You're going to be like, if they say something mean, you could just be like, oh, I'm sorry, my head hurt, and they're going to back up.
I didn't hear you. It was on my blind side.
Oh yeah. I didn't hear you. Yours on my blind side. Come on, those are two different senses.
Hey, it works.
Oh my gosh, you are ridiculous. I couldn't hear you. You're on my blind side. Oh my gosh. So Pam, tell us about who you came with, because you came with a couple of, I have so many of my clients are over 50 and they want to have fun. They want to travel places, and a lot of them don't come with people. There are so many people, like their husband doesn't ride, and they don't have a lot of people to travel with. And we get a lot of people that come by themselves and stuff, but you actually have two people. They're not related to you at all. Oh. So who did you come with?
Okay, I came with Kathy Knott, and she's been here quite a few times. Mm-hmm. And she talks about it. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I've never regretted it. Oh. This has been the best time.
Yay.
and then Margene Henry, she's been wanting to come, but she couldn't find anybody to go with.
Right.
And so...
Yeah, Margene's got a couple of years on you also. Yeah. So y'all are both in your 70s, and I don't know how old Kathleen's in. She looks young. She could be in her 50s or 60s. I don't know. She's in one of them.
60, mid-60s. I don't remember.
Yeah. I knew that she was just a little bit younger. She's in between you and I for sure. But she came here first with a couple of other ladies and for Lee Hart's clinic, and then brought a different lady another time, and then now she's with y'all. I don't know. But Kathleen always brings people with her and still working on her horse, and man, they did so good.
Yes.
And then Margene has been nothing but a ray of sunshine with us, and she's got a really nice horse. And just found a couple of holes this weekend. Not holes to step in, but holes in the training where, that horse can do some amazing horsemanship. But then it just kind of got razzled with goofy stuff like bridges and barrels and things. So, but that horse, I have found that keeping myself learning and going, it keeps me, hungry for the next thing.
I thoroughly enjoyed all your questions and how you had to keep redoing it until you got it right.
And you're talking about with my horse, during the clinic,
Yes. Okay, assumed.
Well, it's assumed for you and I in our conversation, but not all the other people. She's talking about, I was riding my horse named Glamour, and Glamour was having a lot of difficulty with getting into the right lead, and it turned out my horse had a people problem, and I was her people because I needed to ask differently. But what were you saying about Glamour and I's journey?
Well, I learned a lot by watching and the mistakes. Mm-hmm. Everybody was, I learned mostly from the mistakes everybody was making.
Boy, you know what? In life, that's where I do my most learning. Yep. If I try something and I'm successful at it, I feel like the best things I've ever done in my life is whenever I got my butt handed to me and then I had to try again. Now with our business has been that way. A lot of the things that I started were complete failures the first time. And then I just had to either try again just because it was a new concept for people, or I needed to reevaluate. And some of those things I failed, and I tried it again. I failed again. Then I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to do that. Or I'll have to do it in the future, but change it up. For example,
God's talking to you.
well, hosting 5K races. I've tried those a couple of times here. Nobody wants to come do a 5K here. I thought they would love to do like a trail run. Wrong. No, nobody's interested. Maybe if it was for like a fundraiser or something, I'll keep that into my mind about something. But Chicks in the Sticks, the first time I did a Chicks in the Sticks, it wasn't like a big success. And now it's probably 60% of our income.
I believe it.
Oh, I love, I've changed it. And each year we change just a little bit more and we're scrubbing it up. You know what I mean? We're polishing polishing your first vehicle. It's usually a used one. And now we're making that thing beautiful. But I love the people that I meet.
Yes. Yes.
Like how inspirational, man, whenever you told your story at the Chicks in the Sticks, I was like, other people need to hear that. And I even had like 2 of the ladies in there. And we have a maximum of 23. And I think the event that you came to had 17. But they were like, you need to do a podcast interview with her because people need to hear her story. You know how many people, like if I had a friend before and she was just drop dead gorgeous. And she was in a little car wreck and she put a little, like a check mark on her face. The way that it went, you could barely even tell that it was a scar. But, I see beauty. Like this girl's, her boobies in her throat, her butt is sticking straight out, okay? She's got long legs, beautiful skin. She's professional. And all she sees is the scar on her face. And I'm like, girl, you are like, I think, scars are tattoos with better stories.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know. I just see the beauty in things.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, I love whenever I learn about these people that overcome stuff, and so here you are, my 1953 model and working on her horsemanship and learning different things and meeting new people. And
I just stay on top.
Yeah.
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 Just stay on top.
So I see that you have a necklace on, and the necklace has the 3 horses on here. So tell me about this necklace.
Last November, Rip's mom, she was 17, Maddie, she tore her meniscus. Mm-hmm. And then Skeet, he was 25, and I got him when he was 2 months old. And he had a bad eye injury. I couldn't get healed up, but he was also a very hard keeper. And he was Watchtoe Jack.
He was what?
He was a Watchtoe Jack.
Okay.
And
that must be a horse from a lineage that I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know horses. I don't know like lineages like I should.
But, and then Missy, she was 30, and there was nothing wrong with her. And she went back to Dock Bar.
Okay.
And
I do know that word. King. My horse has King in him 3 times. That's one of those old.
Okay. Yeah. But with trying to, I talked to the vet about Maddie, and there's nothing to be done. She'd been in pain for the rest of her life, and she's been too good, too faithful to do that to her.
Yep.
So I had all 3 of them put down in one day. And then 2 weeks later, I had a stroke.
Oh, no. Goodness, girl. So the stroke, did that set you back mentally, or did it just, how was your feeling with the stroke?
It wasn't a bad stroke, I guess, for a stroke. Things just wasn't clicking with me. I couldn't walk. I had a hard time walking, and my fingers weren't working. Yeah, I mean, my fingers just weren't working. And
so did that, whenever a stroke happens and stuff like that, you talked about whenever you had crossed over from the head injury from the horse that you had peace. Yes. Whenever you had the stroke, you were still awake and everything. What did you see? For me, if something wasn't working, I think I would have a surge of, I would be afraid. I would be scared. You don't have that. You don't have that panic feeling.
No, because with the head injuries and everything that's happened, because I've had a couple bad head injuries, whatever you call those.
Concussions?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had 3 of those.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I had a crock pot fall in my head. And
a crock pot? Girl, you gotta get some lower shelves. Okay.
No, it was on the freezer, and I was trying to clean behind the freezer, and I was moving the freezer. And I was sitting on the floor rocking the freezer, and the crock pot fell off and
got you right in the head with a crock pot.
And,
that just sounds like a horrible country song.
And then I had a blood bleed. It was my brain bleed is what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway.
So the stroke. Tell me. So you didn't have a big sense of. It wasn't a big pain. Wasn't a big scared feeling. You're just like things aren't working.
Yeah, they were. And that's happened. With everything. I just chalked it off, and I thought, well, I got to go to the doctor Monday. This was on a Saturday, and I got to go to the doctor Monday, so I'll just tell him what happened.
Oh,
and
girl, most people, you should call 911. Okay,
that's what they said. I said, for what?
Girl, that's when you call 911. Okay, like 100%. Don't drive yourself either. You call them and deal with the debt of having an ambulance show up. Oh my goodness. If you're listening to this, you call 911 if body parts stop working. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Well, they were almost working.
Oh, I am not listening to you. I am not taking advice or anything right now.
Well, that's kind of how my doctor is. Says, well, did you go to the emergency? And I, no, should I? And he just shook his head.
You know what? I ain't going to get on to you, though, because during one of my Chicks in the Sticks events, a lady's horse was in front of me, and she had never rode with a mule, and her horse was in her 20s, and everything was fine until I was jacking my jaws behind me, and I had turned around. Well, then she had slowed up into a ditch, and, well, I got right on her butt with my mule, and then her horse is like, finally, I can kick him. Well, it tried to kick with one leg, and then it put that leg down and then kicked with the other leg. Hit me in the shin on both sides of that dang mule. Didn't hit the mule at all and kicked me in the shin on both legs. One of them, it didn't hurt. The other one, that leg ballooned up. But I used to do a bunch of professional fighting and stuff, so I'm used to banging. I'm going to be the nastiest old lady in the world because I'm going to be so crickety from all of my adventures in life, right? But turns out that dang leg was broken, but I didn't know. I mean, I guess it was just like a small break or something. It didn't like have a new joint there. But I didn't go to the doctor for a year until like I couldn't get it to ever stop swelling. And there was some heat, and turns out, girl, there's 2 blood clots there, broken leg. And they're like, what the heck? You got your leg broke and you didn't stop? And I was like, well, it was the beginning of our season,
Yeah. Priorities.
Oh, there's a lady on TikTok that makes fun of people like us. You know that, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. On TikTok, it's videos like YouTube, but they're like shorter. But there's this lady that plays the part of a triage nurse at a hospital. And she makes fun of like, wait, there's a farmer that came in. He's brought a cooler and he didn't finish his chores. Get every doctor here now. I don't know what's in the cooler. Anyways, country people, we're notorious for not going and getting help. But then my horse gets like chiropractic, everything.
My doctor, for the last few years, my doctor, every time, I'll go in on crutches when I broke my leg, or my arm was bandaged up when I pulled the rotator cuff muscle out of my bone. Mm-hmm. The blood clot in my leg. Yeah. I go hobbling in, and they just smile at me and say, okay, what horse got you this time?
Oh no!
I mean, the whole clinic, everybody knows me.
Oh no!
Okay, Pam, which one got you this time?
Well, and I don't want people to be afraid of horses. A lot of times we've just got
It wasn't their fault.
Yeah,
it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
He said, that's what you always say.
Sometimes it is their fault, But, well, we've owned a trail riding facility now for 10 years, and we've seen spills and thrills and what the heck happens, but everybody's always been okay, Sometimes it took a little bit longer, but usually everybody's okay. But the percentage of those thrills and spills is so small compared to the memories that people are making and the amazing moments, Well, it's just like driving a car. I mean, there's thrills and spills every day in that. But anyways, well, I just wanted everybody to hear Pam's story. Pam's got more. I seen her hand go up.
Okay, no, and something else, I wouldn't believe you've only had this open for 10 years.
Oh,
because it is so well put together and maintained.
Yeah.
And it is very safe feeling here, very serene.
Well, you know what? I told Lee, I was like, I'm kind of a collector of oddities. You know what I mean? Like the people that I collect are not like winning world championships and reigning. You know what I mean? I don't have like somebody that's won the Kentucky Derby. Like the horse people that I collect are, I was like, I'm an oddity. I'm a plus size cowgirl that rides a Missouri Foxtrotter that's not gated. And I do mounted archery in a cutting saddle because the saddle fits my horse. I'm like, oh no, I'm a weirdo. Like I'm riding this horse with my old fight name. And I started fighting again this year, after 11 years off. And I was like, oh no, I am like the queen of the oddities. And then, you know what? Because I had interviewed Lee and he's like, Brandy, you make people feel included and they feel safe here.
Yes.
And he's like, and y'all do such a good job. He's like, he says that it's rewarding to do the teaching that he is. And, the teaching that's going on in those clinics is making everything safer. Every time you educate one person, it ripples out because of, you never know, like the fact that I've taken lessons with him now for, I don't know if it's 11 years. Yeah, I've taken lessons with him for 11 years and I see him twice a year. But the impact that I have because of the reach that I have, so you just never know. Like increasing safeties is always a wonderful thing. And, my husband, before we did Von Holten Ranch, he was a safety director. He's wound tight. He is wound tight on things being done correctly. And, this is his family farm. It's been in the same family since 1906, and we bought it in 2013. And so, we like things. This is our home.
Well, yeah.
And we take care of it. Whenever people are new here to us or something, or we have RVers, sometimes they throw the trash on the floor in the bathroom in the guest shower house. And then I'm like, who did that? And, and I'll know because we'll have all of like the returning clients and there'll be like 2 new people. So I'll go and be like, hey, so the bathroom's like cleaner than probably the bathroom in my house. And I was like, if you would do this right here. And they're like, oh, okay. Or they'll leave the door open, and we go and tell people, oh, you got to shut the door. It doesn't have a closer, but they'll leave the bathroom door wide open. Not the stall door where they're using the bathroom, but the door wide open. I was like, hey, that's air conditioned. And then they're quick to see that, oh, it's just like 2 people running this, and we have a boy that helps with our facility now, and then we have a manager, and she's been here for a couple of months of helping us with dispersing our marketing and helping with making shirts and then with reservations. But it's still a lot of work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but thank you for saying that you like our facility. You know what? Whenever we were first building this, It was hard to hear any form of negative come towards us because we were putting everything we had into this, and building it. And we love what we've built.
Yes.
We've got the covered arena. We could only we tried to make it in a completely indoor arena, but we couldn't get finance for all the walls. So we only got one wall on it, and I'm so happy that worked out because it would be too hot.
Yeah.
If it was enclosed.
Yeah.
And I love our mountain trail course, all those obstacles. And what makes me so happy about that big obstacle course is it lets people introduce their horses to things, horses and mules and donkeys, to different environments and different things. It's making them safer.
Yeah.
And I want people to be able to ride. I want people to die with horses, not from horses.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a difference right there. I want people to be safe and enjoy their animals because I want them to have a good life. And that's my niche in the equine industry, is just trying to help people be as safe and enjoy what they're doing. And yeah, we don't attract a rowdy crowd. We don't attract, I'm about as rowdy as our rowdiest client, and people loving us. I mean, we've had people come in from other countries. We've had just about every state here. I should go through and see if I can see what states have been here. But my Chicks in the Sticks, I think we've only done like 5 or 6 this year, and I think we've already had like 13 different states present at these. So if you are interested in finding out about Von Holten Ranch, you can find us. My last name is VonHolten, so VonHoltenRanch.com. You can find us on Facebook. And Pam, she'll probably be at another Chicks in the Sticks. Her name's Pam Gardner.
Yes. And it's not so much what we do, it's the people here. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the people.
Yep.
And everything else is a bonus.
Yep. Most definitely.
And now my bonus, I got to get bigger pants.
You got to get bigger pants? Oh, because we fed you too good?
Yes.
Girl, yeah, we throw down in the Midwest. Yeah, we are some cornbread-fed girls. All right. Thank you for tuning into Country Tough with Brandy Von Holten.